There's two main reasons why you clicked on this video. Number one, you probably feel ugly or think you're ugly. Number two, you probably are on a rabbit hole for over 2.5 hours on scrolling on a bunch of stuff on how to look better. Now, in this video, I want to talk about 15 things that I did to become more attractive. Number one is growing out your hair until you find something that works. The thing is that when you guys are just keeping your hair short, you feel like you're not looking good with a short haircut. A lot of the times you can fix this by just growing out your hair, because believe it or not, when it comes to finding a perfect hairstyle or perfect haircut or whatever you want to work with, it's more about having more wiggle room to work with. Like when you have longer hair, you can test more hairstyles just to see like exactly what fits your face shape. And if you're watching this video right now and you're probably thinking to yourself, how do I even know what my face shape is? Well, the easiest thing you can do is just to go on any AI software and just send your picture and see like what your face shape is. Me personally, I was able to do it via ChatGPT, and I was also able to do it through various apps within the App Store. And once you get your face shape, it will give you details on what hairstyles will fit best for you. Number two, you want to brush up your eyebrows. You're probably just thinking to yourself, what do you mean brush up your eyebrows? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, the same way you can brush your beard, the same way you can brush your hair, is the same exact way that you should be able to brush your eyebrows. Even though I did it slow within this clip, you can clearly see that with less than 30 seconds, you would see that your eyebrows look not only more fuller, but more thicker. That is just because when you push your eyebrows up, when you brush them up, it makes your eyebrows appear thicker. And when you have thicker eyebrows, it makes you look better overall. It gives your face more contrast. It makes your face look slightly more masculine, and also just makes your face look more defined and just better overall. The third thing, you want to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep in order to minimize dark eye circles. Here's the thing, when you don't get your sleep, you're gonna notice that, you know, if you like, let's say you're playing a lot of video games, which is something I used to do all the time. I would always play a lot of video games, or I would just have school the next day and I would just stay up forever texting and, you know, just hanging out overall. And then after having about like 2 to 3 hours worth of sleep, when I go on to the next day, you know, I look like a zombie. I have like protruding dark eye circles. And this is a point that I want to drive home as well, is that you need to get your sleep. Not only is your sleep good to minimize your dark eye circles, but your sleep is also crucial just for basic health, which goes much more in depth than just simply having dark eye circles. So take care of yourself, do yourself a favor, get your beauty sleep. Number four, you want to keep your lips moist. One thing that I come to realize is that Vaseline has this like chapstick or lip balm thing or whatever you want to call it, but pretty much it's called Rosy Lips, and not only does it keep your lips moist for a prolonged period of time, it also gives your lips a slight pink pigmentation, which is very good because it makes your lips look, you know, a lot more fuller. It just makes your lips look a lot better, as when it has more of a pink pigmentation, even a slight bit of it just adds more contrast, just makes your face look good overall. Number five, you do not want to drink from straws. Drinking from straws is very bad for your oral posture. When you're doing a lot of the sucking motion or any related motions where, you know, you're using your mouth breathing, or taking in wind and exhaling with your mouth, you're reinforcing bad oral posture, which is how recessed chins happen to begin with. Because naturally when you're eating, when you're breathing overall, you're not supposed to breathe through your mouth. You're supposed to keep your mouth closed and you're supposed to breathe through your nose. And it's just one of those things where if you don't believe me, just walk outside your house and you're gonna see exactly what I'm saying. When you see people that are mouth breathing or people that drink a lot of straws, you're gonna see that if it's a habitual thing for that individual, you're gonna see that their chin is slightly recessed, and you're gonna see that their face, their jaw overall is a lot more softer than as of someone someone who, chews a lot, or someone who, breathes through their nose. The next point, which leads right from the last one, number 6, you want to chew gum. Now, this is one of those things that you need to really do your own research, do your own due diligence, because if you're chewing a lot of gum, the chemicals that are in gum to begin with can become potent, especially if you're chewing a lot of gum, which is why I'm telling you to do your due diligence. The main reason for this is because you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're not only having good breath at all times, but you're also training your jaw muscles more, just so that way your face can become more chiseled. Number 7, you want to get a haircut every 2 to 3 weeks. Why do I say 2 to 3 weeks? The reason that I say this is because when you go longer than 2 to 3 weeks without a haircut, you're gonna notice that your haircut is gonna lose its shape. Your lineup is not gonna be as noticeable. It's gonna be mostly fainted. You're gonna notice that you're slowly, week by week, after week 3, you're just going to look more scruffier. And by sticking to every 2 to 3 weeks, you're always in that safe zone where, your hair always looks like, it's on par. And one thing that I need to drill in you guys' head is that when you guys get haircuts, the point of getting a haircut is not to look brand new. The point of getting haircuts is for you guys to always maintenance that clean, sharp, and just overall the best version of you. You want to always maintenance that look. The best version of you is the look that you always want to maintenance. If you like this video so far, be sure to leave a like button and just subscribe if you're into content like this. Now, let's keep going with the video. Number 8, you always want to keep your facial hair cleaned and shaped up. What I do is every 2 to 3 days, I would get a hair trimmer with a 3.5mm guard, and I will go around my sides, and I would also go around my mustache and goatee with that same length, and then I would just line up my facial hair, so I always get to stay looking my best. Number 9, you need to get lean. When you're lean, you have minimal body fat, which means that when you have little body fat to work with, your face tends to be more chiseled, tends to be more hollow, because there's not much puffiness, there's not much fat on your face overall, which is why no matter what I say in this video, if you're not lean, you're not going to truly see your maximum potential. Number 10, build muscle. This may contradict the other point, because if you don't have the muscle mass to begin with, there's honestly no point in getting lean. This is one of those things where you want to build your muscle, you want to take your time, work hard in the gym, and really do what you can to build as much muscle as possible. Also, when you have muscle, not only does it give you a much more masculine look, but it also just gives you a much more masculine presence, which you're gonna notice when you have a top tier physique, or you have a fit physique overall, and you socialize with other people, you're gonna notice what I'm talking about. You're gonna notice how much more of a stronger presence you have versus everybody else. And I hope that that's something that you get to experience either right now or sometime in the future. Number 11, use teeth whitening strips. There's nothing more attractive than having a nice white beautiful smile. Now, ideally you want to follow the box instructions or whatever instructions that your teeth whitening strip has, but for me, because not only is my teeth a little sensitive, but also because I generally do not like the taste of teeth whitening strips, what I do is I put the teeth whitening in, and I only do it for 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes I just cut it short and brush my teeth, floss, and that's it. My teeth are whiter than ever, and in my experience, as long as I'm able to use the whitening strip on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis, my teeth will always stay white. Number 12, you want to have a good skincare routine. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have a very minimal skincare routine. All I use is CeraVe AM face moisturizer. The reason that I use this is because not only does it have sunscreen in it, but it's also good because in my experience, I find this face moisturizer to give my face a lot of hydration. So that way, my face is not dry, and overall, I just have a very good experience with this cream in particular. I'm open to adding more in my skincare routine, but I try to keep things very minimal, and I hope you guys can, also keep that in consideration, because when you guys are using a lot of products on your face specifically, sometimes you need to take account that, you know, when you put one product on top of another, that can be very abrasive to your skin, which can contribute to you also having bad skin. So in my experience, I've come to realize that less is more. Number 13, beta carotene plus a tan. Having a tan overall is good for you. It gives you more color. It just overall gives you more contrast. If the weather is, you know, not ideal, let's say, you know, it's fall, winter, early spring, and the sun's not out, tanning is not really that possible. I mean, like, you know, the natural way with the sunlight. What I do is, when the weather is not ideal, where the sun is out to give me a tan, I would take a supplement called beta carotene, and that is just to overall either keep the tan that I had throughout the summer, or I would just use that to give me a tan overall. And you know, I'm not saying that this is a magic pill. It'll get you, you know, from point A to point B. It'll get you from pale all the way to olive skin color. But what I'm telling you is that having beta carotene in your supplement is going to give you a little bit of a pigmentation. Nowhere near as much as sunlight though, may I mention. The reason why I never mentioned, you know, tanning beds or anything along those lines is for two main reasons. Number one, I never tried that, so I don't want to tell you guys to try something that, you know, I've honestly never even thought of or never even thought to even go and try. And number two, there's a fair amount of danger to it. So if that's something that you guys are considering, you need to really do your due diligence. Number 14, take creatine. If you want a more muscular appearance, taking creatine will fill up your muscles and will just instantly give you a more muscular appearance. Not only will creatine give you a more muscular appearance, but having creatine in your diet will also boost performance within the gym, and also creatine is very known and very studied. The one thing that I want you guys to be mindful when taking creatine is that when you're taking creatine, you need to realize that creatine can, for some people, sometimes make your face a little bit more bloated than usual. So just take that into consideration. Number 15, diet. No matter what your fitness goal is, you need to be eating as clean as possible, because not only does eating clean affect your health, but by eating clean, you're optimizing your performance within the gym. And also, by having a clean diet, you're helping yourself have clear skin. Here's the thing, when you have a bad diet, not only do you have a lot of acne because you have a bad diet, but your pH, your body odor, how you smell overall is gonna be really bad when you have a bad diet. That is the reason why most people smell bad to begin with. Not only is it because they're not keeping up with their hygiene, a lot of the times when you have a clean diet and, you know, let's say you're coming from the gym, you're gonna notice that, you know, even though you're sweating like crazy, you're gonna notice that your pH, your body odor, doesn't smell as bad as other people. You also want to be drinking 2 to 4 liters of water a day, which is about 4 to 8 bottles of water a day. The reason why you want to drink this much water is because it optimizes your health. The thing is that when you also drink a lot of water, it can help get rid of your dark-eyed circles and also help you with clear skin. As you're noticing throughout this video, by having a better health overall, you're gonna notice that it's gonna transcend into a lot of the things that are going to make you attractive. You're gonna have good skin, by proxy you're gonna have good teeth, you're overall gonna be leaner, you're gonna be more fit, and overall you're gonna be attractive by just having good health. And when you drink a lot of water, it's gonna keep your face as lean as possible in relation to the amount of body fat that you have. Now, if you stuck this far in the video, I'm gonna mention one more point, which is have a good fragrance. You want to find a signature fragrance, and to find your signature fragrance, you just need to, you know, go and try new colognes. And the thing is that when you're going out to get colognes or just perfume overall, you want to make sure that, you know, you're investing in, you know, some quality. If you invest in cheap colognes, more often than not, they're gonna smell very synthetic, and it's just overall gonna have a very cheap smell. So that is exactly why, you know, you should invest or consider investing in a more pricier cologne. Now, one thing that I barely hear people talk about is that you should also look into perfume oils. Perfume oil overall, it lasts longer. In my experience, when I'm using perfume oil, it stays on my body forever. Like, if I can be more specific, I have the scent on my body for about, over 6 hours. Sometimes the scent can stay on me to the next day, and that is after I'm showering and everything, which goes to show you guys that sometimes perfume oils can last a long time, which is why, I've made the move from cologne to perfume oils. And yeah, that's all the things that I've done in this video. What I can tell you guys is that if you just implement a few of these things, or whatever is most applicable to you guys, I promise you guys, you're going to, appear, you guys are just going to be more attractive overall. And if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe and have a wonderful day.